That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, so he can keep it long, he can sit in the pocket if needed to, and he can do the 12 rounds, because I think that Joyce's team are banking on it going in the second half.
Yeah, look at they want to go the distance. You heard Joe said it. They just want to win.
Sure.
So, in my opinion, if you look at the scorecard, one judge had what's his guy name? Joe winning by 1 point, and the other two judges had Jule only winning by one point.
Sure.
That's scary. Because when you look at the fight, anybody watching the fight knows who won the fight. The boxing fans know who won the fight. The British fans know who's won that fight. So it's always scary coming here and fighting because of the judges and the refereeing here.
So do you want to take it out of the judges' hands? And is that what the plan is, to take it out of the judges' hands?
Every single round. Every single round. We're going to be strong in the first round. We're going to be strong in the 12th round.
Sure.
Every single round we're focused on.
Those are the words of Sean George as he comments on the scorecard of the first fight between Joe Joyce and Zhilei Zhang. Of course, Joe Joyce was the favorite. He was the hometown fighter. And he was just making acknowledgement of how close the fight was. Now, the judges did have Zhilei Zhang up on two of the judges' scorecards. But it was only from 1 point, and he was saying how scary that was because we knew who was dominant each round until it ended, and I think it ended in the last part of round 6, right? Did it get to the 6th round? And it didn't get to the 7th. And he's concerned about the judges because of that fact. And let me counterpunch. That's a good point that they brought up, because that is scary. I think him blaming it on the judges based on territory, right? But if you look at that, I don't think it's based on sometimes it is, but in that case, I don't think so. I don't think it's based on because Joe Joyce is from Britain. I think it was based on Joe Joyce was the favorite fighter. He was the guy that was younger. He was the guy that was undefeated. He was the guy that was really building a lot of momentum, and he was in place, being the WBO interim champion to become the next challenger for the title. And in this case, the titles belong to one person. It's held by one person, and that's Alexander Usyk. So he was in position. And I think based on those things, I think that affects judges because judges know where a fighter is. They know the politics of the game. They know that, hey, this guy has X, Y, and Z versus Zhang didn't have really anything. Zhang was undefeated until he had a controversial decision against Hrgovic. And then Hrgovic beat him for the, barely. A lot of people think he lost because he was dropped, and he was hurt a couple times in that fight. But I think Zhilei Zhang ran out of gas. And then, of course, Filip Hrgovic, showed that he could box and move and stay out of danger a lot of times. And I think that was the reason. And in this situation, I don't think that either of these guys have anything to really lose or gain. Well, Joyce does, but then Zhilei Zhang has taken that oath from him. Joe Joyce is fighting back or fighting to get what he got back from what he had. And I think what Sean George said makes a lot of sense, but what I don't understand is about Sean George, he was like, look, they're trying to go to the distance. And we're going to be just as strong in the first round as we are in the 12th round. And it's like, okay, well, that doesn't solve the problem if you say there's a problem in the UK. If you believe there's a problem with the judges of corruption, that going the distance won't help you. That's actually going to be exactly what they want you to do, because if Joe Joyce can go 12 rounds with Zhilei Zhang, he's going to win by default based on what? His speculation of corruption from the judges, right? So I don't understand his ideology with, oh, well, we'll be just as strong. I mean, he was strong in the first fight. His strength is what showed us everything. That bled through. That amplified the whole fight. His strength and his dominance. So strength is not the problem. I think what Sean George and I think the game plan should be, if it's not, okay, unless he's just BSing everybody, I think it should be knocking out Joe Joyce, being the first to do it, because based on what he's saying again, there is corruption. Yes, in the UK. Yes, the rematch is in the UK. So we can't leave it to the judges. You guys tell me what you think of Sean George saying that Zhang did not have a fair shake and the scorecards were downright wrong and scary in the first fight, despite the dominant performance by Zhang. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!